All right, everyone, here we go with an energy weather update. Let's take a look at this. Oh, I don't know. I did a pre-shuffle here. Let's take a look at the surrounding energies we have to deal with right now. It's actually, I don't want to say it's a bad thing. It's actually probably a good thing. I've got a Page of Wands crossed by a King of Wands and a Ten of Swords. I've got something, it's like the good stuff sort of a thing. I've got good times coming to a close. I've got an era, a moment in your life, a moment in time coming to a close of some sort, or the energies are setting up for it right now. It could be that, it could be future influence for you, but keep in mind, if it feels like something's coming to a close, a friend is leaving town, somebody's leaving town, it's something with the King of Wands that you would have thought it'll last forever, Steve. That kind of a thing. It's like an endless summer kind of energy a little bit. I don't know. An era, it could be you're a dreamy person. I know I have a lot of those here. I was like that when I was younger, for sure. I'd have whole dream eras that would come to an end, and I just, it wasn't there anymore, and I'd move on to something else. That might be happening here too. I don't know. Something you thought was very strong in the beginning and it would last forever. It doesn't. It could be a new friend. I don't know. Either way, there's an uneasy feeling around it with the moon here. Don't worry about the unknown, okay? The unknown is where the magic lives. There's a magician underneath it. All right, so something new is starting. Something new comes right out of it, right? All right, let's see where we go. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end, sort of a thing, right? It's closing time energy. It really is. Gather up your jackets. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. All lines from closing time. It's what it is. It's that kind of energy. But I get it. It was kind of a, I don't know, it was an era. It may have been, I'm going to call it an era. You could call it whatever you want in your life. I call my little things in my life eras. It was fun. It was something that was, fun for you. I don't know. It's time for a new one. When it's time for a new one, you usually know. And usually what happens is what I saw in the pre-shuffle, you try to hold on to it for a little longer. You try to push it past the expiration date. These types of things, energies do tend to bleed into one another and things like that. So yeah, that's just human nature. But I'm at least telling you, don't fear the unknown. All right, don't try to hold on to it because you're afraid of what's next. All right, that's the wrong reason. The wrong reason is, the right reason to hold on to it is it was fun and you wanted it to last longer. Could be a friend, it could be a relationship, a fling, it could be a temp job and you made some great friends. It could be any, 1,000 different things. So it is what it is. Let's see where we go. It's a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you in here, or you found Steve Love Terry here for a reason. This reading is timeless. Whenever you fucking find it, you're meant to find it. And I know we've talked about economics of energy, right? The energy is economical, so definitely pay attention to what I said on those topics. I'm not going to keep repeating them. Let's see where we go. It's why your horoscope for today might not come true until 2032. It's entirely possible. It depends where you are on your timeline and what kind of free will decisions you've made in your life. If you sit down and you're honest with yourself and you go, well, I've been a bit of a fuck up, well, then it's going to take longer for the good stuff to come in. It just is what it is, I've known people who have had great energy around them, but they haven't gotten their shit together until their 60s. Just because they made a bunch of bad choices in their 20s and 30s. And you got to fix all that shit first. You've got to get back online and take care of stuff. It applies in the 3D and it applies with 5D energy as well. It doesn't matter, right? Anyway, King of Swords here at the bottom. Crossing the center card, I'm going to pull. This is the environmental energy, the King of Swords. I like this. It is a good time when an era type of thing is ending to contemplate some things, to wax philosophical a little bit, and that's sort of the energy I get off of this. However, I think with this era, with this ending, you need to figure out why you're upset about it. And the excuse, like I said, is not you're afraid of the unknown. That's just the surface excuse, okay? Figure out why you're afraid that this is ending, or why you're afraid what's coming next is bad. Because that's not necessarily true. I don't have any indication of that. I have what's coming next represented by a magician. So, it's up to you. You could be a bad magician or a good magician, I suppose. Let's see where we go. I don't have any bad cards here. The tower. Well, I mean, the squirrel's not having a great day, but I mean, it does it does back up what I said. It's not a devil. It does back up what I said, right? The tower is often a very good card. It's tearing things down. Something's coming to. What did I say? Rewind. Right at the very beginning of this, I said something's coming to an end. It is. This squirrel can't live in that tree anymore. He cannot. He doesn't like it. It's not. He's not thrilled about it, but he cannot live in that tree for another day. All right. Something better is coming. Now he's worried. Am I going to find a tree this good? Well, I don't know. Why worry about that? Why not figure out what you liked about this tree and what you learned during your era in this tree, right? And take those lessons forward. Why not be the wise squirrel, right? Instead of like most people who just blindly go through life and never learn a damn thing. You don't want to be like most people. Center card. Lovers. I said I don't have a bad card. What's red with the tower? The death card. I don't have a bad card. These are good cards. In spite of what Hollywood might tell you about the death card, it's a good card. Oh, the death card. Yeah. Give me a fucking break. These two mean the same thing in this context. If the deck had another tower card, a second one accidentally printed and put in, I would have gotten that. Okay? This is death, rebirth. This is death, rebirth. Except this illustrates it. You're that little guy right there, the little squirrel. Okay? It's important you understand that. Now, I want to take a look at this here. What's underneath that? The Eight of Pentacles. And one more. Victory. There's something you can pull out of this and take forward with you. Now, this can play out a lot of different ways. You're going to make different choices from here on. Now, this implies the era itself, what I felt in the pre-shuffle would imply it was fun. Okay? It can be. It can be fun to fuck up too. I mean, if you're someone, for example, my friends that I've had that didn't get their life together until their 60s, right? Who fucked up in their 20s and 30s, they had a good time. I mean, they were leasing cars and not paying for it and then running from the repo man. That was a fun scam that a lot of them did, but it fucked up their credit. But yeah, there was a time in the 90s when anybody would just lease you a car. It didn't matter what your credit was and you could just get them. There were people who had no jobs that were driving around in fucking Lincoln Navigators. Everybody seemed to have a Lincoln Navigator who couldn't possibly have afforded one, right? Is that kind of a thing? That can be a lot of fun. That can be a fun era. Sorry to see these go. Billy Joel's got a song on one of his early albums. I think it's on Turnstiles. It's called I've Loved These Days. Yeah, you should listen to that. I've Loved These Days from Billy Joel. It's a bit of the energy that's here. Okay? A little bit. All right? It really is that song a little bit. But I've loved these days. So it doesn't have to be it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to fuck up my credit. Now, all right, I need to make different choices and learn what I could from what I did so that I can fix things and whatever. Right? You don't just get to fuck up in your 20s and 30s and then decide at 40, I'm just going to buy a house now. It's not going to work that way. It doesn't, it'll take you a decade to clean up the mess. Generally speaking. But I think you're making different choices now. I think you're making, I could say you're making wiser choices, but that's not really the case. I think the lovers came out for a reason. I think because of whatever this era is, and I've given it to you in a, because I don't want everybody to think, I haven't been having fun, Steve. And again, I give you extreme examples. It could have been a lot of fun and you're going to miss it because now you got to get back to your real life and all that kind of stuff. Could have been that. Could have been you've been having fun like the Lincoln Navigator crew from the 90s that I used to know. You just fuck over the dealership kind of a thing. It could have been. That was certainly fun, and I'm sure they look back and go, I love these days, especially with their 400 credit scores, by the time they were done. But I think for you, whatever this is, those are extreme examples. I think for you, whatever this is, you're making choices based on what makes you feel good, what you're passionate about, a lot more than you used to moving into a new era because of this era that's ending, okay? So some point in your life, something is coming to a close. It might not be today. It might not be this week. It could be in the very near future. I've already said I can't account for everybody watching. I don't know. But you're getting this reading now in the sense of the energy is setting up. So even if you're still in that era It's coming to a close. The window is closing. It's closing time. All right, let's clarify a couple of things. All right, let's see where we go. Tell me about the lovers. And then we'll see where we're going, because the tower will come with that. All right? It happens. These are the kinds of things. We have a lot of fun. This could be from some of my younger viewers. You're getting older, right? Getting a little longer in the tooth. You turn into your 30s, and all of a sudden you start, your friends start getting married and shit, and they're having kids, and you're still, you're still doing the same job you did in your 20s, and you got nobody, kind of a thing. It starts to grate on you a little bit. It's like, times they are changing. Yeah, people come and go from your life. I talk about my old friend Chris all the time. I used to get into trouble with back in the early days in my 20s. I haven't talked to Chris in years. It's been a long time. He just sort of disappeared around the time I got married. He moved off somewhere. I think he moved down to San Diego, which is, a far enough ride that you're not going to make the trip every fucking day to say hi. But, life changes. This is a life-changing time. But the time that's ending, whatever it is, crazy bad, crazy good, crazy fun, crazy down the middle, has taught you a different way to make decisions. All right? So you've grown from it. All right, let's see. Now the lovers, why is it here? I like it. It's very nice. It's very nice. I've had this come up in a recent reading. May have even come up in the last energy weather update where I talked about an era coming to a close. But it's much stronger here, and this is a little bit different. This is much more personal than that. Much more you, about you, sort of a thing. All right. Anyway, lovers, why is it here? The Ten of Cups. Again, you're making decisions, crossed by the Ten of Cups. You're making decisions going forward because of the era that's ending. We're just calling it an era, just to give it a name, right? You can call it whatever you want. Because of the era that's ending, you're making decisions that make you happy. You're doing it because it makes you happy. Steve, I want to rob banks. Okay. If that's what makes you happy, you go for it. It's not my place to judge, right? Just make sure nobody gets hurt. Don't be stupid. All right, here we go. What's on top? Page of Wands. Why is that here? Five of Pentacles. You feel like you've missed out on a lot of fun up to this point, and you don't want to miss out on more. Okay? It's just backing up everything I've fucking said already. All right, let's pull on the Death card. It's nice. So you're making decisions based on what might be fun. You might bang a little more going forward in the new era. You're going to allow a lot more fun in than you did before. All right, but it's responsible fun. You see the King of Swords? Now it's responsible fun. So it is what it is. My friends that used to fuck over the car leasing companies and take advantage of the 90s, driving Lincoln Navigators, later in life found it was more fun to have an 800 credit score and just go get one. And you get to keep it longer if you make the fucking payments, right? You're not running from it's no fun to run from the repo man in your 50s and 60s. It's not as fun as when you're in your 20s, And it isn't much fun then either. Here we go with the Death card. Why is it here? Tell me about the Death card. Where are we going? I keep getting Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Where we're going, you don't need roads. Right? That kind of a thing? I don't know. It just shows up there. What's going on here? Probably because Strickler died recently. The principal from Back to the Future passed away a week ago or something like that. A couple weeks back. Sad. He was great. He was in Top Gun, too. A lot of people don't know that. Anyway, Nine of Cups. You're a slacker, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Nine of Cups, cross of this. This is good. It's a good card. It's nice. You're coming in with the right attitude. No, it's minor arcana. I should back up. Because then people will assume that they have the right attitude. Check yourself before you wreck yourself here, okay? You're making smart, passionate decisions, not stupid ones. All right? You've taken something from the old era and making it better. So this can be the era of your dreams you're moving into or a nightmare. The old decision-making process from the previous era won't work in the new one. So again, pay attention to what I said here. Pay attention. Sit with this. Wax philosophical on it. Spend some time thinking about it. Hell, drift off at work for all I fucking care, right? Oh, you just look busy. Just hold the candle and look busy. Oh, yeah, I'm working. Yeah, I'll have that spreadsheet for you, whatever. You know, whatever it is. Wax philosophical on it. Some of you may feel this era, whatever it is for you, ending already. Some of you, it may not be there yet, so keep that in mind, you know. We're all a little different. What's on top? Yeah, the Fool. Wow, why is that here? The Six of Pentacles, and what's the bridge? The Empress, yeah. It's, oh, how do I fucking phrase this? Hold on, I got allergy season. Just give me a second here. It's sort of the Empress is turned inward here a little bit. So it's sort of, you're moving into a time where your inner grown-up comes out, where you have, well, I'll phrase it this way, you have empathy for yourself, okay? You're taking better, I could really boil it down to the least common denominator and say you spend a lot of time taking care of others, and it drains you, and now you're spending some time taking care of you because you sat with it and waxed philosophical and realized that if you're dead, you're not helping anybody, right? That kind of an energy, that kind of logic. You got to take care of you so you could take care of others. It's, if I'm to boil it down, that's what it is. But really, on a higher level, it's an energy of you care more about yourself than you did before. It tends to be that way. I mean, you know, for some of you, this is you're getting older. And, you know, you tend to care more about yourself than you did. I mean, I did a lot of crazy shit in my 20s that I wouldn't have pulled in my 40s, not in a million fucking years. You know, I didn't care, whatever, break something, they'll just fix it, you know. Now I'm more responsible. Like, they break something, I've got a copay, and then I've got that and that. I mean, fuck, right? It's a big hassle, you know, that kind of a thing. Again, it's, you're having empathy for yourself. You're making moves that make you feel better, that improve your vibration, that raise your vibration. But one thing is clear. First, let's look what's under this. Yeah, see? We didn't know that was there. It's the 10 Pentacles. And it just backed up. I wanted to see if I was right, if I was on the right track, and I was. Now again, you might be going, well, I don't know about any era that's ending for me, Steve. Wait for it. There's a lot of cycles that are closing out, opening up. A lot of mid-range right now. We've had the big ones, but they're still bleeding in. But there's a lot of mid-range stuff too. You might find somebody disappearing from your life. You might find, well, just to put it simply, you can't live in that tree anymore. Okay? You may find that you can't live in that tree anymore. That's fine. Wax philosophical on it. Because you did live in that tree, whether it was crazy good stuff or crazy you were just being stupid, whatever it is, you learned something from it. Or you pulled something from it, and you learned the value of fun. On some level. Can I put it that way? The value of fun. And the value of taking care of yourself. You know, again, there's no other way to read this other than empathy for yourself. Extreme empathy for yourself. And you're doing it not for selfish reasons. You're doing it for altruistic reasons, in the sense of you're doing it so that you have the energy to help others and give to others. So it's beautiful energy all the way around. Provided, and that's why the 9 of Cups is here, and that's why your life improves. But it's all provided you sit with this energy and figure it out. And you make decisions based on passion here. All right? See if there's anything else the universe wants to tell you, and we'll get out of here. Randomly at the bottom is 2 cups. I like that. 1 card and a crossing card. What else you want to tell my people? Anything? Anything at all? It's nice. I like it. It's good energy. Some people react poorly to this kind of shit. They really do. Look at the little squirrel. I mean, you know, some people react poorly to this kind of shit. They don't like it. Especially people who don't like change, or people who suffer from extreme nostalgia. So you have to be careful of that. I'm a sentimental old fool. I'll admit it. I am. I always have to keep myself in check when eras end. Right? But you may have to as well. You know, it could be why you're getting this. Things move on. Can't live in that tree anymore. All right, well, that's fine. Maybe not right now. Should be very soon if you're getting this reading. I'm not even going to put a date range on this reading. All right, just keep it in mind. It's good advice anyway. Let's see. If you're in the middle of this era and you're having fun right now, wax philosophically on why you're having fun. What kind of fun are you having? And what can you learn from it? And how can you improve it in the future? Right? How can you make it better? Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands. Right? Top card, Six of Wands. What's underneath that? Emperor. In other news, can we phrase it that way? Sometimes do that with extended titles. And in other news, right? In other news, you're about to have a big win with somebody that's been a bit of a thorn in your side. Okay? I don't know what. It could be a boss. It could be a runner. It could be anything. I think they're going to either apologize. Maybe that's the weakest energy here. But I think somebody you never expected to hear thank you from might thank you very soon. I find that interesting. It might be an apology, but if it is an apology, it's a thank you disguised as an apology. All right? I don't feel like most of you would get an apology. I feel like it's a thank you, in a way that it may be subtle. It could be, but it's definitely a win for you with somebody that's been a thorn in your side. I don't know how to phrase that. It's probably, for a lot of you, it could be a runner, but it feels like a boss type energy. It feels like somebody that's tried to control you on some level. Okay? Something like that. You get the win here. The energy is setting up for you to get the win. That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. Good luck.